There we go. What up, fam? I'm on here live. I'm about to get my homie on here. Yo, what up, Nasima? Yo, Code. Okay, I see you. Bro, you can just request. I'm going to pull you up. Hey, what's up, Judah? Hey, what's up, Nasima? You got the internet on fire, letting them know you actually make a little bit of money. I love it. Bring the homie on. He just requested. Judith, I know you got your big day coming soon. I'm excited for you.
What's going on, bro?
What's good? What's good?
Bro.
This dude, so y'all see, this is my dude, okay? So like we go way back. The reason why I'm laughing is because my man got the fresh haircut.
You see me with the fresh line on, man.
Right. Oh, I love it.
Man, I see folks joining, man.
Yeah, we got a few folks coming on. Hey, what's up, Tyra? So what I'm gonna do, I'll just start, kind of have us rap. We'll do what we actually do when there's nobody watching.
Yeah.
But I want to give a quick intro. So this is my dog. His name is Cody. He's a East Texas football legend. For real. I'm actually not joking on that, but great dude, my guy. We go back over a decade. He knew me when I was in the 6-figure club, not at the 7-figure club.
Oof, don't hurt him, Stack.
You know,
don't hurt him, Stack. You're too loud.
Right. Like I remember showing you a retirement account where I had 6 figures in it, and just like, hey man, I'm building.
In your 20s.
Right.
That's right. 20s, bro.
That's right. Yeah. So we go way back. This is literally one of my best friends, favorite people on the planet Earth. Just really good brother. We talk through a lot of different things. By the way, hey, what's up, Quincy? I see you joining us. And so what I wanted to do tonight was just have a conversation around some of the things that surround wealth building that may not be like directly the money stuff, but are super duper important to being able to build. And before I launch in the topic, one thing I want to say real quick. So something that I say often is, and I understand and I appreciate where people come from when they say things like, man, you know, Steven Stack, self-made millionaire. So I understand where they're coming from. And I did have to make some personal decisions to be able to build. But personally, I don't view myself as a self-made millionaire. I stand on the shoulders of all the people that came before me. So it really is a culmination in my mind of several people contributing to my success, which I don't know. We'll see, Judah. Depends on how spicy we get on whether this gets saved or not. So we'll see on that. And my man Daryl Stinson, good brother. He's also a former college athlete as well. He was nice too. He got a bad back now though, so he ain't moving like that. He ain't moving like that. So, but it's all good. It's all good. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, me and Cody were having a great conversation, just about the impact of our fathers on our life in just a lot of the different threads for how we were both able to build, just in just how it helped us be able to focus and think different, think long term, things of that sort. So just wanted to have a conversation, give you all an opportunity to hear some of the stuff that gets talked about behind the scenes, live and in the public. I see you, Daryl, in the comments. Yeah, I might have fired a few shots, and you know, we won't derail the conversation on what buckets you can and cannot get. I love you though, bro. So if there's anything you wanted to say, Cody, before we dive in, floor is yours, bro.
Man, listen, I just appreciative of the opportunity to really just kind of peel back the curtain on a conversation that we have often. And man, grateful to be here, grateful to speak to your audience, and hopefully can make some new friends.
Mm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, man. So, and Daryl made a great comment. Said not common, unfortunately, for Black men to have great fathers. But when you do, man, you want to capitalize off of it. So,
Next.
so with that being said, I'll open the floor to you to start, and then we'll just wrap. So you can talk about just some of your background and with your pops and all that.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'll just kind of start where Daryl just kind of left off with this comment. Not common for Black men. That saddens me, but I also feel a sense of responsibility, and that's why I'm really excited about this conversation between you and I. And I recognize you mentioned my football background, so I'll talk a bit about that. But man, the impact, just seeing my dad at practices, man, not the games, but practices. My
right.
AI reference. So like he would show up to practices. He would drive hundreds of miles to see me play in the Dallas area. Man, just the level of support and just knowing that my dad is in the stands rooting for me, giving me tips, giving me that firm, discipline, but loving fatherly assurance. Man, it's something that I see that I benefit greatly from, and I could see it as a young buck, and I definitely see it, as a 36-year-old man. So, man, grateful.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's good. I wanted to jump in because something that you said, you were talking about just your dad being at practices, let alone games. And I was thinking about this prior to us doing this live tonight, of just what were some of the innocuous things that I saw from just my dad's presence in my life that were good for me. And one of the things that popped up was just the fact that I don't think I can remember a day in my life where I woke up in the morning and my dad wasn't already up, ready to go to work. Either where he had already left. Hey, what's up, Alex? I got somebody on here. Alex Jackson.
Alex, what's going on?
Right. But yet, man, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, man, just the impact of waking up in the morning for school, and my dad was already awake, dressed, and
Yeah,
either he had already left to start the day of work, which he had his own furniture business, or he was up, eating breakfast, or just getting his day going. So even though he didn't even say anything there, I saw the value of diligence, work ethic, consistency. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
day in, day out of just what positive manhood looks like,
bro,
which helped me along the path to building wealth.
bro. I mean, same. I think the word that I would use to describe that is industrious. My dad very much, and it sounds like your dad too, was very much a man about business, industrious, resourceful. Man, oftentimes, so my dad worked, 12-hour shifts. So oftentimes he was already out of the house before I had even woke up. So man, and to your point, like outside of like days off, man, that was the story of my dad's life. Just out the door, headed to work, and seeing him like the consistency of it, seeing him do it day in and day out for many, like all of my childhood, seeing him work and provide, man, that had a tremendous impact on me and what I thought about like manhood and what it shaping my beliefs about manhood and
Right.
our relationship with work and purpose and 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 also setting expectations of, hey, if this is how I get up and work as the leader of this household. So when he told me to mow the yard or do some chores around the house,
Right.
the expectation was you're going to get that done, right?
Right.
No ifs, ands, buts, no excuses. And if it's not done, there's going to be consequences, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
it made that it cut out a lot of the nonsense, a lot of the back and forth, because I think having an example in my father who was just super about business and about family really kind of helped set the expectations for me as his son and what was expected of me.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And so for those who kind of come in and out, because I'm seeing some of the folks that have been joining us, we're just talking about the impact of our fathers on our own wealth building journey. And so for me, many of you know me, some folks we've been able to relate in such a way that you know how I'm moving financially. And I've got my homeboy on here who is killing it as well, quietly. You know what I mean? Quietly. So if you're trying to follow him, he got a private page. You know what I mean? I brought him out. I brought him out for this tonight. So nothing to sell, nothing to sell. We just here having a good time. You know, but even with bringing him out, it's also good just so folks know that there's more of us. We exist. There's actually a ton of good brothers doing their thing, being successful about their business. And I would argue, and I know Cole, you know this, that's pretty much the only dudes that I really hang around.
Bro,
Like
like
that's all I know. You know what I mean? So when people be like, "Yo, where the good men at?" Like, whoa, hold on. That's all I rock with. You
man,
know?
that's a trope that we're hoping to dispel. And man, it's interesting that you say that because like honestly, man, my dad helped me to be this way. Like it's truly who I am intrinsically. You mentioned earlier, like, man, I'm doing my thing quietly. And a lot of that was because I saw my dad doing it, just building, stacking.
Right.
Um, Total pun intended,
Oh yeah. Oh
stacking
yeah.
over
Oh
the
yeah.
course of years, man. Nothing glamorous about what he did. Just, but just getting after it year after year, day after day. Um, and this predated social media, so he wasn't pounding his chest about what he was doing. I just saw him, was like, man, we lived well. We had resources. We had plenty of food in the house, lots of love. But he was getting after it, man. And so like I just kind of, the apple didn't fall far from the tree when it comes to that. Um, there's a word that you used years ago, man, understated, and I think that's what I would use to describe, man, the men that helped mold me. I consider you one of those. My dad, for sure, just, man, just humble, understated, but very much about the business. And I think uh, that's how I grew to be who I am and to the person I am today.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. And just to try to give some extra context, or even just build on what you said, when you talked about understated. So for me, my dad, he was an entrepreneur, had furniture reupholstery business. He actually still operates it to this day. Um, Not because he has to, but just he still enjoys doing it. Now he's taken down the time that he puts to it, so he's not doing it 5 days a week, but he still likes to do it. It gives him energy, life, which that's another thing that I would just encourage people with is, I've said this before privately, but I don't mind saying it publicly. Even if I made $1 million a month, I still would work.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I don't look at work as an inherently bad thing to escape. If anything, I look at building wealth allows you to be able to potentially do the type of work that fuels you,
Mm.
that drives you, that you can be surrounded more by people that you want to be around. But this idea of just doing nothing
Mm.
is foreign for me. Even when I was in high school, well, even before that, but I'll just use high school. I can remember summertime. School year would be out, and it's like, oh, summer, and man, after the first like week or two, I'm like, yo, I need to be doing something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just be
Exactly.
sitting in the house or just chilling, shooting the breeze, and doing nothing. Like, I want to do things that are productive,
Yes.
and 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 also, and this is for everyone listen, but I'll be particular for any brothers that may be listening to hear this, is oftentimes when you aren't about your business, you end up in some stuff you shouldn't be in.
Let's park there for a minute, man. Let's park there.
See, we might have to take this one down.
Let's
If,
park
if
there.
we park there, we might have to take this one down.
Let's just park there and stay here for a minute, man.
All right, go ahead.
There's a lot of nuggets in what you just said. The first thing that you said that resonated with me about work is and just your level of productivity and just feeling weird, not feeling yourself laying up in the summers, man. That's actually the first assignment that God gave Adam, gave man, is a job, work, an
Right.
assignment, purpose. Um, so, this notion of, you know, building and amassing wealth to escape work, I love how you framed it. It's like, man, building wealth actually enables you to do the type of work that you want to do, connect with the people that you want to connect with, be in the places and the spaces that you desire to be in, but you're still making an impact in those spaces.
Right.
And we talk about this often, but I want to kind of peel the curtain back and let your audience see what we talk about on a routine basis. But man, that's literally what I'm working towards today. And man, I see purpose in the work that I'm doing now. I can have impact, positive impact in people's lives.
Right.
I enrich myself through the effort that I apply and get that back. But also it's gratifying knowing that I'm using my gifts and my talents um, to enrich other people. And bro, it's energizing, like having that sense of purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. It really is. And unfortunately, like our society, we're getting lulled to sleep with this idea of just that the goal is to just do nothing, to, sit on beaches, play golf, or, go to different resorts and things like that, which I have no problem with that. Like, personally, because, I don't even be sharing half of stuff that I actually be doing,
But he be moving out there,
right. moving.
He be
So
moving out there.
right. So, like, literally, I've been all over the world. I've been in some of the nicest resorts, hotels, tropical places, just fancy places. I've been all over the United States and all this kind of stuff, North America, across the pond, Europe, all that. And as enjoyable as that stuff may be to do, I wouldn't just want to do those things. Like, I part of the wealth for me is being able to pour into other people, help other folks be in a better spot, equip, people, encourage, uplift, so on and so forth. Like, to this day, and I know this won't shock you at all because you know me, but I'll say this for the people, is I'm worth more today by far than I've ever been. And yet I work harder than I ever have.
That's a bar. That is a bar.
Right. So I'll say it again. I'm worth by far more than I've ever been. And yet I'm working harder than I ever have. But it's purpose work. You know what I mean? Like, it is stuff that energizes me, and being able to pour into other people. And I got to see my dad do that, even though at this one, like I'm operating at a higher level than what he may have been back in the day, but like I still got to see it.
Yep. The groundwork was laid.
Right.
You literally saw the blueprint there. I mean, you just mentioned it. You said that your dad is, he's an entrepreneur and chooses to work, right? Of course, he's dialed it back, right. But still continues and chooses to work, man. And it reminds me of something my dad says often, and that's, you can't skip over the work. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish and you want to achieve, you can't skip over that. Man, that's relationally, career, wealth building. You can't skip over the work, and man, that's a concept that's evasive for a lot of people, right? It's a difficult message to land, especially in a society that tells people, hey, luxury and you can have it all now, and man, get rich quick schemes. Man, just having the impact that my dad had on me allowed me to just kind of see through that.
Yeah.
Keep walking by that and do what's always worked for people throughout millennia, and that's right. There are no success rules that work unless you do, right? And so you can't skip over it. You gotta do it. And just seeing my dad do it consistently just instilled that tenacity within me to get after it.
Right. No, absolutely. Say that quote again, talking about the success that don't work. So say it one more time.
There are no success rules that work unless you do. Right? So
there are no success rules that work unless you do. Those are definitely words to live by. So I'm gonna dip my toe in the water on one thing real quick.
Yep. Uh-oh.
That
uh-oh.
That also was a positive as far as this wealth building journey. You know what I mean? As I look, I see Tashika, my man Quincy, Alex, Love, Tay, Jummy, you know what I mean? So we just gonna have a party here real quick and just park here. We'll touch it and we'll move right off of it. Is that another thing of just my dad? And I know it's a similar thing for you too, is my parents, this is April, so 2 months ago, almost to the day, they celebrated 54 years of marriage.
Bro, that's incredible. Truly.
Right, which is incredible. And so being able to see my dad be committed to my mom over all of that time was an incredible impartation of wealth for me to be able to witness. Because regardless of what he may or may not have said, which by the way, he talked too, like he said things as well,
Yeah.
but it 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 gave me a higher value for women. I'm saying, I'm like, okay, if I'm seeing how my dad treats my mom, the amount of respect and dignity and loyalty that he's displaying in his faithfulness to my mom, and just even how he made the decision of choosing her, that it it helped me to miss a lot of lady landmines. I'll just say it like that.
My man with the diplomacy, I love it. This is why we rock together,
Right,
man.
right.
Bro, I
So
love that.
yeah,
Like,
there was a lesson there, but I'll pause. I'll let you cook.
bro, man, woof. 50 years. That's incredible. My parents been together 38 years.
Wow,
Being
awesome.
same, man. Dad's been committed to my mom for 38 years. Man, seeing the commitment. One of the things that stood out to me while you were speaking on your parents and your that impact, seeing how your dad chose and to love your mom for 50 years. Bro, it's countercultural. Like what the message that we get, particularly as successful men, is, you know, you kind of get your pick of the litter when when after you've arrived at some place. And man, it really goes against what I know to be true wealth, which is, man, family, commitment, relationship with people that matter. Like that, like seeing my dad be committed to my mom for that many years, and I know that the same is true for you. Like, helped me to really frame what's important in life, bro. Like,
Right.
there's I can honestly and truly say there's no amount of money that I would trade for my relationship with my parents,
Oh yeah.
my siblings,
For sure.
my extended family,
Right.
health, like, and just seeing the, the impact that both my parents have had on my development. It's like, man, I couldn't trade that for the world. Like, if someone told me I deposit 10 million, 20 million, $50 million in your account, but you got to give up one of your parents. That's an easy answer.
Right. No, I'm good. Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, bruh, like, and just kind of dancing towards the the ladies department, man.
Yeah.
I've lived. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I get it. I get, but to your point though, yeah, you may have lived, and so catching some people, because we had some people pop in and, hey, what's up, Janae? I said what's up to you in the comments. But like, even though you may have lived, we'll let people figure that out. You know what I mean? Like, you you still knew you had something to live for. Like you
Yes,
knew, hey, I have something to lose.
bro.
Like when you're thinking about selecting ladies. So just to give perspective here, what we're talking about the impact of our fathers being in our lives, how it impacted each of us towards our wealth building journey. That way before you get to any of the stock market stuff, index funds, mutual funds, crypto, real estate, private equity, any of all that stuff, which those things are important. Having a budget's important. Not having high interest debt, carrying that for a sustained period of times is important
For sure.
to work those things. But if I'm talking to a young brother, and I've talked to plenty, I say, hey, things that will sink your ship quickly is having a bunch of kids by multiple women.
Bro, come on now. Like, sexual discipline, bro, is one of the things that, man, frankly, it's been a derailer of wealth since the beginning of mankind.
Right.
And continues to be. And like the part that's baffling is that as men, we've seen countless examples, modern day, throughout history. I know we've got Christians in this audience, so like we've seen that in biblical times.
Yeah.
And yet we still, it's a it's an urge. It's a strong urge that takes a lot of us out. And bro, I can tell you straight up, like having a dad and seeing his level of commitment to my mom, directly impacted how I, to your point, viewed women, the decisions and the choices that I made, coming up, especially along those kind of precarious times when you're young, college, first free, kind of get that first dip in the pond in terms of, freedom as a young adult. I'll use that term loosely.
Right.
18 to 22, 23, right?
Right.
But man, I think about how my dad helped shape the decision and the critical thinking ability, right, when it comes to managing relationships with women and friendships, like you mentioned earlier, as far as, man, all really, the dudes that you hang around is this right here, like the successful, like-minded. Yeah, bro, that's because I saw my dad doing that. I saw him making those types of decisions consistently.
Right.
And man, I'm reminded of a time. Speaking of college, I'm reminded of a time when, again, I told you I'm lived, man.
Right.
I'm lived. So my dad came down, and
Alex still in the chat. Alex still in the thread. So she policing.
So for those of you who don't know me, man, got an athletic background, played high school ball and then collegiate ball at Texas A&M, and Alex, what's up? But man, I remember distinctly my dad coming down. It was a spring game. We just had a game, and I was dating a girl at the time, and my dad was like, "Son," we going out to dinner.
All right.
We going out to dinner, and my dad is a man of, again, he's business. He's funny. Stack. I know you chopped it up with him before.
Yeah.
Funny, humorous, but he's about business. He pulled me to the side very, very diplomatically after the dinner. He said, "Son, I see why you like her, but nah." And what's understood doesn't have to be explained.
Right.
So, he that's an example of him just helping me make good decisions in the thick of, those kind of formative years of wealth. And I saw a lot of my teammates at the time kind of blow themselves up before life really even began.
Right.
Having having children before they're kind of financially able to take care of them.
Right.
And man, just my dad helping me make good decisions
Right.
during that time.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, man. No, it's real, and one of the things about having like real dudes in your life, and I know we got some ladies listening, but we're just kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit on this, is dudes know what's up.
Facts. Facts.
You know what I mean? Like we can sit back and be like, oh, I know what type of time buddy's on.
Like literally, dad had not met the woman before. Just that one interaction. He said, "Hey, I see why you like her, but no."
Right.
Right. So, audience, do with that what you may. But man, there was so much wisdom in what he was saying. What was left unsaid, right? Just kind of maintaining the dignity, but also communicating, hey, look who raised you. understand who raised you, but also say, hey, I know you're young, but
Right.
make good decisions, son.
Right. Right. No, that's real. And so one thing I want to say that's out there is because so you've got people who are like, we're all on our journey. Like we're all somewhere in the mix of this journey of life, wealth building journey, of trying to get still striving. Like even though I'm aware, and so now this is gonna sound crazy, and now Code knows I'm a super chill dude. Like I don't really beat my chest. I'm not like a super flexor, even though I be knowing the numbers. You know what I mean? That's not typically how I move, but I'm aware that for my age group, and this will just sound wild to even say it, because even this is selling it short of, I'm aware that from a wealth building standpoint, that if I walk into 10,000 rooms, I'm gonna be wealthier than everyone in 9,999 of them, and that's actually still selling it short.
Oof! Don't hurt him, Stag. Don't
Just
hurt him.
don't shoot a messenger. But
Don't hurt him, Stag.
you know what I mean? Like that's real. Like, and I'm very much aware of that. Don't let social media get people gassed up, like all the lifestyle marketing and things that people will do to pretend or portray wealth that may not actually be their reality. I say that to say, even though that may be true, that technically it would still be more than 9,999 rooms out of 10,000. I'm still building. Like there's still more growth that I'm looking to attain, while still being grateful for where I am and where I've been. But one thing I want to encourage people with is, so yes, it takes real discipline to build wealth and to build success. But for those who've had a level of success, let me encourage you with this. And this is something that I personally see in my own life, got to see it with my dad, and just different other good brothers that are around me, good ladies that are around me too, is the discipline that it takes for you to really build meaningful wealth. It will take even more for you to keep it.
Bro, you got to say that again. Seriously. Say that again.
So the discipline that it takes to build meaningful wealth, it will take even more to keep it.
Oof.
So the reality is this: for where I am today, it takes me more discipline today than what it did in the past. And
Mm.
that's in every way you can think.
Mm.
So if you're thinking like that, yeah, that way too. That one as
Man,
well.
you said, you know, in the era of lifestyle marketing and just all of the different ways in between that you got to just remain disciplined. And I think about the humility that it takes for you to walk into those rooms, knowing what you know, knowing the statistics. I too am acknowledge that I am in one of those upper statistics, but the humility that it takes for you to know and be aware that, man, I'm I'm doing my thing, but also to be mindful and aware and present enough to be like, you know what, I don't want to derail myself while also being able to be relatable and connect with people, um, because man, the opportunity is to derail yourself is there, like always,
Always.
always. It ramps up.
Right. Right. It absolutely does. And another thing is you can bring, and I mean this is stuff that some of it may be things that I've seen, you know what I mean, like kind of just caught from seeing how my dad moved. Some of you may have said it. This one may have been more of a, I could kind of follow the logic to the end of, maybe it wasn't said, or maybe I kind of saw it and just put things together, is this idea of being overly flashy. It,
Mm,
it actually can add more risk to your life.
mm.
You know what I mean?
Bro, I'm reminded of that scene, that popular scene in American Gangster, where,
Frank Lucas.
bro, Frank went to the boxing match in a chinchilla in the 60s or 70s. First off, there weren't a lot of people getting to the bread like that, yet alone an African American, a relatively unknown African American amongst certain circles,
Right.
which garnered the attention of the feds, and they ran his pockets, right? And there's a lesson to be extracted from that. Like you talked about risk, there is risk in being too flashy. I think about, people who, you know, man, there's a rapper out in California, PB Rock, wearing his chain. Unfortunately, that cost him his life in a I think at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Yeah.
Man, I think about how I got a buddy of mine, good brother, high school friend. Like we grew up together in East Texas, and I saw how he was moving on all of his social accounts. He was kind of breadcrumbing folks about how well he was doing,
Okay.
right? And I kind of pulled him to the side discreetly and said, "Hey, man, that's not a good look. It's actually counterproductive to what you actually want to do." And I know that the dude wants desire family. He desires someone real. He desired, um, you know, what you have essentially. And what I'll say about the situation is that, man, he didn't heed my advice. He kept doing what he was doing, putting it out there, kind of being flashy about things, contracts that he was getting.
Yeah.
And man, he ended up impregnating a lady that took him to the cleaners. And um, I could have foreseen that. That's what I was trying to get him to see. It's like, man, you're adding that risk by being flashy in a sense.
Yeah.
Um, but it's one of those tough messages to grasp if you haven't seen it consistently,
Right.
right? So I can say that, man, I've battled those temptations myself,
Yeah.
and some of them I've lost. But what I will say is that seeing a real life example of a successful man do it year after year, day after day, and didn't tell the world what he was doing, really, really, really impacted me and helped me to see, man, stealth wealth is the key.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's real. And to your point, I mean the things that let, because my parents weren't like super wealthy or anything by any stretch. They would have been more of a, middle class family.
Yep.
What up, Molly and Will Span? Good to see you, bro. But like I would say the thing that would have said that my folks were doing reasonably well was how much they gave.
Mm.
So it was actually their generosity that tipped, tipped things off to that they were doing pretty well. Not so much all the stuff that we had, because we really didn't have like a ton of stuff like that coming
Yeah.
up. Like, bro, like high speed internet, we was behind on everything. You know what I mean? Like we was doing
Same,
AOL,
same.
all that kind of stuff. Which I
That
see you
dial
real
up
strong in the
everything.
Lord. That Chelsea, what's up? So you know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
to your point of that, you didn't have to bear out all of how well you were or were not doing, or like that everything didn't have to be flashy, but that you really could just enjoy your life. But getting to see that, it made it easier, um, to be able to kind of walk that path. You know what I mean? And I will say this, of like being able to have some of those conversations coming up about this idea of just thinking a little bit more long term, um, and not spending more than what you have coming in, um, and just like delayed gratification. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
things like that, of look at the ant, how it works, it's diligent. Like just things that really helped me. Which, by the way, Chelsea, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Um, and so one thing I really want to share with the people that are here with us is, for those that are on your way, which, by the way, I'm still putting my hand up. I'm still on my way, even though I've covered some ground up to this point. Um, so a lot of times you'll hear people say, hey, work smart, not hard.
Mm.
I'm going to posit to you, work smart and hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're not in a space of where you want to be. And this is something that I got to see in my household growing up, with particularly, like, because my mom was killing too. You know what I mean? Like, she was working in the house. You know what I mean? Like, taking care of me and my siblings. But getting to see my dad do this, of this idea of do both, do both,
Mm.
work smart and work hard, and see how far it potentially can take you to do both. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to encourage us not to take the shortcuts. Which, by the, hey, what up, Marcus? I see you, big bro, my man. He's 6'9"
Oh,
in the
oof.
building. Yeah, yeah, good brother, man. He used to live in Charlotte. Just good dude. And I think that's Carlton too. What's up, bro? But especially if you're not in the space of where you want to be, like, don't let these people trick you into being lazy or less than what you can be. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are trying to trick us out of doing the work. And I'm like, man, do the work,
Bro, I gotta interject here.
please.
When we think about when you think about all the people that you really look up to, like I would I would challenge everyone in the audience, including myself, when I think about all the people that I really look up to, that influence me, that man, I appreciate their journey. These are people that put an incredible amount of work into whatever craft they did. If be it my favorite artist, musician, athlete, business person, entrepreneur, everyone put in an impressive body of work. And oftentimes, like you hear in our community, man, put me on, put me on, put me on, this and that. What that really means is, man, I need an opportunity to do the work, to demonstrate what I'm capable and competent. The money comes with competence in a skill set that's valued, right? That's where the money is. And getting to the money and becoming competent requires repetition,
Mm.
work, right? So you do the work to become competent in whatever it is. Be it like if you play piano, the flute, you run track, you play sports, you underwrite contracts, you you do litigation, whatever it is. You got to put the work in to become competent at a skill that's valued, and then the money follows that.
Right.
Right. One of my favorite quotes from Proverbs is like, "Do you see a man skilled in his work?
Mm.
He shall stand before great men." Right. So lots of lessons to be extracted there from one of the wisest and wealthiest men that's ever lived, and that's Solomon. And just saying, hey, man, the work is what that's the connective tissue, the sinew, if you
Right.
will, that's gonna deliver you to that desired destination. So to your
Yeah.
point, don't get tricked out of the value of working
Yes.
and getting those reps in.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to build on that because that's so good of just, like you said, doing the work, the repetition, becoming competent. Before I do, Miss Anita, I see you. So she's the proprietor of a local massage parlor here,
Awesome.
Zamaria Spa, I believe is how it's pronounced. I've
Oh,
gone. They've kept me together when I've come through. They've stretched me out and massage. I do need to come back. I've been stretching. I've been stretching. So when I come see you, I've been stretching. But now, I mean, I might need to tighten up a little bit. See, she put it in the bottom. She put it in the bottom. I'm gonna get myself together, okay? I'm gonna get myself
you
together
put the
and let
massage
you
hands in
right.
the chat. I see it.
Right. See, laughing. See, laughing. Don't worry. I'm gonna get myself together, okay? Um, but so this idea of competency and doing the work. See, here's the reality. So this is countercultural what we're talking about, but it's the stuff that really helps you build wealth is this idea of the reason why we say don't skip the work as far as building wealth and so on and building a life worth living is because being like doing the work, building your skills to become competent, man, it's around this idea that the wealth is in who you become
Ooh,
in the process.
ooh,
So,
bro, big facts.
right. You know what I mean? Because if you're just trying to skip to the bag itself, but you haven't built yourself up, I promise you, you're shortchanging yourself.
Man, I I'm thinking of an example. Like the work is what builds the competence. The journey that you're on is what develops your character. And you said something earlier about um, you know not skipping over the work. It's more about who you're becoming and the discipline that it requires to maintain what it is that you've worked so hard for,
Right.
bro. Like for whatever amount you've amassed, there are people looking to separate you from your bag. Like there are
Right.
there are cunning people with sophisticated schemes looking to separate you from it. And if you haven't done the work, that's why a lot of young people get fleeced. You see these, you see these young multimillionaire athletes, entertainers, the money that comes quickly gets squandered
Right.
because, and I'm not to disparage them and say that they haven't worked hard, because they certainly
Oh yeah.
have, but when you look at the totality of their body of work compared to, someone that became, a millionaire later in life, man, there's lots of lessons that were learned along the journey in terms of discretion, um, discernment, discerning who to divulge certain information to, and how to navigate social situations and business relationships, right?
Right.
So like if you skip over the work and try to like say, man, I'm just gonna collect the bag, well, that's why we see a lot of lottery winners and folks who kind of get it quickly. They end up losing it, or a significant portion, if not all of it, within a matter of years, right? And that's a statistic that we can look up. So,
Right.
yeah, just to underscore your point about not skipping over the work, bro.
Right. 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 Exactly. Like healthy confidence comes from competence that's
Mm.
only built through the discipline of doing the work.
Healthy competence or healthy confidence comes from the confidence that comes from doing the work. I love that.
Yeah. And it's so simple, but when you really play it out, like that's the stuff. That's the things. You know what I mean? And I've seen, I've gotten to see it. I think we've both seen it in our dad's lives and our father's lives, of how they've lived and how things pull themselves together. We've been able to live personally, see it in our own lives of how that stuff has come together over time. You know what I mean? Of just all of these different things, these different dynamics um, that come from, doing the work, having the discipline, so on and so forth. So, what may be some other things that you can think of just from seeing your pop that were positive for you, or just helped you maybe make good decisions or avoid some potential bad
Yeah.
ones, or just even mitigating some bad ones? I'll make a quick statement and give you some time to chew on it and think on it. Um, I so one thing that I've seen, particularly with like young men, and I've got a passion for young men, just because typically if you can help guide and direct a young man, like you tend to be shaping a future family, community. You know what I mean? So I love our ladies. Love y'all. I mean, I've got an incredible amount of women in my life that have been amazing and helped me along the way, and like just held things down. Typically speaking, when fellas are really holding it down, you just see such a ripple effect of impact. Like when that happens. And one of the things that is always troubling for me is when I meet a younger brother that says, "Hey man, I I ain't got nothing to lose. I don't have anything to live." Like, I'm like, my man, that is not a badge of honor
No.
to feel like, hey, I've got nothing to lose or nothing to live for. And you want to be around men like our fathers were, men that had something to lose, had something to live for. You know what I mean? And so they kept the hand to the plow, or it helped with the discipline
Yep.
to avoid negative situations, you know what I mean, like as they were building. So I was just sharing that thought while you were thinking through it. Hey, what up, Damon? Good stuff. This my good brother. He lives in Texas too.
Hey, what's going on,
Yeah,
Damon?
he's a good
Man, yeah. So I'll take it away. Perfect segue, man. I think in addition to the discipline, it's the general disposition and temperament, I would say, is what I took from my dad. My dad's very cool, calm, and collected. He's a thinker. Um, moves intentionally, but not sporadically or irrationally. Gives himself time to think through situations and scenarios, like, you financially, socially, all those things. So I think one of the most important things he deposited in my life along this kind of wealth building journey is the temperament to build wealth. Like they say, the psychology of money is really paramount to building wealth. And I would say that my what my dad deposited in me in regards to overall temperament, not being volatile, not responding to every stimuli, and every situation that's negative. Like I don't have to return that same energy, right? Just and being cognizant of, man, the history of Black men in this country, right? And you know, and understanding, man, you have to understand, like, wherever you go, Cody, wherever you go, you're gonna be Black. You're gonna be a big Black man wherever you go,
right.
right? And not to make this like a racial thing, but to really underscore and emphasize the importance of carrying myself well, having a temperament that's de-escalate situations, right, that could potentially be volatile.
Right.
um, you know, avoiding things that could, man, this could delay or derail me in some way. So I think, bro, one of like, if I had to summarize that, it's the temperament and my disposition, right? I think most people that know me, and I know you can vouch for this, for saying, man, Cody is pretty level headed,
Right.
right? That's not to say that I haven't been in emotionally charged situations. I've been in plenty. And what I do for work, like that's literally, it's contentious every day.
Right.
But being level headed is necessary, because if I was a hothead, like I would blow myself up and like cut myself off from the ability to get to the bag. So man, I would say, man, just level headedness, restraint. You could say the discipline to show up and be, um, exercise, diplomacy, restraint. Um, that's been huge in my ability to build wealth.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really, really good. And it actually made me think about there's like a passage just talking about where there's no revelation that people cast off restraint.
Yes.
So, this idea, like if you don't have vision, wisdom, understanding about who you are, what your place in life is, then you will move like I have nothing to lose. And you won't have restraint, which this idea of having self-control can keep you from blowing your spot up.
Yeah.
And, so most of the people that see me online, and then obviously I know it's the case for you, which a good bit of people that have actually popped on, like I've been in their presence before. So they've seen me, but most people, they see you online because a lot of times I'm sitting like this. Even if I'm sharing things, as far as like, fitness related, like you don't really see me relative to other people. So I'm gonna have some fun with this of just saying, like, both of us, both of us, you know, former athletes. Um, I mean this kind of tongue in cheek here, but like we would be what some people would affectionately call shooter brother size.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
meaning that we are larger than average men.
Man.
You know what I mean? Of on that 6 foot and up, 200 plus larger men setup. Um, and so, like, there's obviously there's pros and cons to that. From a, you know, I would say there's way more pros than cons.
Facts.
Um, of you know, I mean, I'm not going to derail us here, but obviously being on the taller side, you tend to get more favorable energy from the ladies. Um, you tend to be, you know, looked at more inherently as, you know, a leader. You know what I mean? Like just by being a taller person, you know, there's some positives that come from that, and just being a bigger human. Um, but also like and also, you know, people won't typically they're not gonna try you because they're like, yo, these some big dudes.
Facts.
you you know what I
Facts.
mean? But aside from them small seats on planes, you know what I mean, and legs being crushed out, like you also when you do have someone who's aggressively trying you when you are a larger dude, you have to be aware of what may be around the corner
Yeah.
of why they're pressing
Man.
like that.
Man.
Um,
Man.
and, you know, I mean, I know that's something that, you know, I picked up from, you know, having good men in my life, having my dad in my life, of just navigating those types of situations.
Bro, I'm reminded of you know things my dad used to always tell me. You know, in the same vein of you know discipline, restraint, discernment, right? Recognizing that you know being cognizant of my size and saying, hey man, Cody, if you find someone that's being overly aggressive, and they can see you physically, right? Chances are they probably have an equalizer. That's the reason that they're trying you like that. So it just kind of helps temper my own judgment and thoughts. Uh, Man, I'm reminded, like you said, shooter brother. So I was like, man, why are we like this, man?
Right,
Why are we like this? I
right,
love us though.
right.
I
And we
remember
be a
years
tank.
ago,
We be a tank.
bro. I remember years ago, man. Like, and all men do this. We size each other up. Like all men do it, regardless of ethnicity. It's what we do. All
Right.
men do it. We size each other up, be it intellectually, physically. We do it.
Yeah.
And so,
Which ladies do too. They be like, dang, she cute.
man,
Dang. Oh, all right, all right. I
big
see her.
fat
Okay, all right, all right.
human
So
condition,
yeah.
bro. I'm at a hotel. I'm entering through a side door, right? And it's two brothers out there standing, just kind of shooting the breeze. And, and bro, I'm walking. I don't know these cats, bro. Like they are just minding their own business. I'm minding mine, bro. Don't know these cats. I walk in. These dudes look up at your boy. They're like, "Dang, you big! Man, I have to shoot your big stuff." I'm like, "Hey, man," and I was like, I appreciate the backhanded compliment,
Right.
right? But what it did was just ring true those words in my dad's ears. Like, man, this is how people think, right?
Yeah.
And just being cognizant of that. Like when I'm in, you know, clubs or maybe some other unsavory environments, just understanding, like, man, you got to know how to navigate just to really be healthy and thrive, man. That's you know, we just being being cognizant of how other people view a sizable cat, bro.
Right. Alice got the Twitter fingers going. She's sending messages and trying to recall them. You know, get it together, get it together. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Right, yeah. And she said, I like that advice. They probably have an equalizer, because that's very true. Of if you're seeing somebody, and this is just we're just being honest here. You know what I mean? So like, I'll put it this way. So like, let's say you're a lady, you got your boo, you got your man, and you're picking a nanny or a house cleaner, and she looks drop dead gorgeous. You know what I mean? Physique. You know what I mean? Right. She's put together well. You might, even though she's an amazing cleaner or nanny, you might hesitate or pause and say, you know what, I might want to get somebody else to provide this service. That's just me using a different example. And you may be as secure as all get out and be like, I don't know if I want to go this direction. Same thing, you know what I mean, in a different way of, obviously we're both larger dudes. And yeah, just in general, if we step into an environment and Buddy's still amp, especially if he's just one of them little dudes, you know what I mean? No disrespect
Napoleon
to
syndrome.
Right. No disrespect to the short kings, you know what I mean? The shorter kings, or, height challenged.
Shots
No.
fired. Man down.
Right. It's all good. You know what I mean? There's love for everybody.
Thanks.
But just typically speaking, you see a smaller dude and he's still amped up. You know what I mean? There's likely, I like how you said it, there's likely an equalizer, or you may want to look and see if Buddy got the cauliflower ear. You know what I mean?
Get pieced up.
Right, right. Alex, she said, I have a 6 foot tall 11-year-old. We started having those. Exactly. Excelsior, she said, hey,
leave the little people alone. Listen, we don't want no smoke with the little people.
Right.
No smoke, no problems.
Right. No Napoleon complex. We good. We don't want no smoke. We're men of peace. We're men of peace.
Man, I remember back in the day, man, you step on a dude's shoes, man, and that was grounds to like drop a dude, right? Like in our culture. And I'm just like, man, I've never been about that. Like if I stepped on a dude's shoes, like, hey man, bro, I'm sorry. Man, de-escalate situations that, yeah, it's man, I was wrong. My bad, bro. I'm sorry. Dude stepped on my shoes. Hey man, you're good.
Yeah.
Just again, level-headedness, avoiding conflict where you can avoid it.
Right. Exactly. Because got stuff to lose, have things we want to live for, see happen. And now I'm going to say this. I'm only going to say it one time, but don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. If I'm going to come see you, I'm going to come see you.
Hey,
you know
come on
what I
now.
mean? As far as like, I don't want to do unnecessary smoke. But if smoke has to happen, let's not do that.
Bro, I'm with you 1,000%, bro. It's just because I know what I'm capable of.
Right.
My general disposition is to just, hey, I'm a lot larger. I mean, a lot larger than the average man. And so that, and I was collegiate athlete, just country boy strong. I know you're the same way, bro.
Oh yeah.
So if smoke ever visited me, most people don't want those problems. Like most people don't want those problems, so I just rather my disposition is, hey man, I rather just chill. But you know, most folks don't try me like that for good reason.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. The exercise journey I have, trust me, it's functional strength.
Now, there was one point that you said I want to, before we move off of it, I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
just
Go
say
ahead, bro.
this. Man, just having an athletic background and just having a general disposition, like one of the things that we talked about that we love about sports is just the tenacity of it, man. The difference between, you know, something we laugh about and joke about often is like, man, football mentality versus basketball mentality. Like football being that very much aggressive, in your face, hit you in the mouth. We bout that.
Right.
Basketball, not so much. Let me lay it up.
Right, right.
So that being said, like it's a mind game, man. Like people will do and say things to try to get in your head. That's part of the fun of the game, bro. Like I remember being at the Y in Charlotte, watching you play ball, bro. I love watching you get after because I could see the tenacity. I was like, man, Buddy is turning up the intensity here. But also, you weren't letting the trash talk get in your head, and that's one of the things that I enjoyed about playing the game and being disciplined. Is like, man, dudes say all kind of crap all the time. You know, get you to penalize yourself or your
Yeah.
team, and just having a disposition of, man, just being cool, calm, and collected allowed you to kind of stay out of foolishness and not penalize yourself or team members. But yet, bust some tail in the gridiron.
Right. Right, right, right. And I want to acknowledge Chelsea. She said, no smoke. We want clean air. And Miss Anita said, so y'all can lay hands. Old country strong. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, we want clean air. Don't want unnecessary smoke, but can be about that action if we need to be. So, man, before we go, any last just kind of thoughts or anything? Obviously, it can be related to just how we've been chopping it, or if it's something that totally different that you want to touch on. Just wanted to open the floor for you on that, and I'll chop on some stuff too. So we're gonna keep the people forever.
Man, I will be brief.
Yep.
And just say, man, thank you everyone who tuned in and just kind of eavesdropped on a conversation that Stack and I have frequently.
Yeah.
But the message was about fathers and the impact that they've had. And man, my message would be, man, if you are a father or your wife or girlfriend of a father, like just continue to emphasize the importance of that role. I would not be where I am and who I am today had it not been for my earthly father's impact in my life. Man, I am super grateful. I find many opportunities to thank both my parents, but particularly my dad, because man, he's just an incredible dude, and just want to just re-emphasize the importance of fathers in building households, communities, organizations. Like it's necessary. So that would be my closing remarks.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal, man. And just echoing on that, of totally agree. To see me is to see a reflection of my dad. Obviously, my mom too, but we've been talking about fathers tonight, of just that consistency, the diligence, the commitment, masculinity in a healthy way, strength under control. You know what I mean? Like, it's not enough to just be strong, because if you're strong but you're out of control, you're actually weak. You're easy to manipulate. You know what I mean? Like, just in all kinds of ways. I mean, there's all kinds of examples I can think of. Even if you're just talking like the discipline of fighting, you had a whole discipline of jujitsu, which is just moving someone's body, like the force of what they're doing of manipulating a stronger opponent, man or woman, to bend them to your will. So seeing that, of that consistency and strength under control, commitment to, for both of us, seeing our father's commitments to our mothers, and that they're still committed to them to this day, and the impact that it has had, it's honestly immeasurable. And so seeing the men that we've become today, like the peacefulness that you see, the thoroughness that you see, very much gotta give it up to my dad as well, man. So this was phenomenal, bro. I'm glad that you're able to jump on and do this, bro. The time went by super smooth.
1.5 hours just went like that.
Right. But we hope it was encouraging and helpful. Thank you for those that, like, commented and chimed in just as we've been speaking. Oh, I appreciate it. Said bravo, right, to the daddies, to our fathers, man. I love it. Yeah. So that was my just encouragement from us both. Thank you guys for listening, man. We may need to do this again, man. Like, it was fun. Just being able to chop it, you know what I mean, and letting folks see some of the conversations that we have behind the scenes. So yeah, no, this was really good. We might tackle some other topics, you know what I mean, in the future. We'll see. If we get super spicy, we can't keep them up. You know?
Man, totally on board. You just let me know.
Right.
And bro, I'll pull up on you. You already know.
For sure.
What the vibes are, bro.
For sure, man. Well, I appreciate you. Y'all have a wonderful night, and keep building as far as on your wealth building journey. And remember, not everything is just the money. Like, everything that we talked about we weren't talking about budgeting or investing or saving or any of that kind of stuff. Like, a lot of times the stuff around it is actually more important than the acts itself. So yeah, we appreciate y'all, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. So good night, y'all. Peace.